Now, if Westside Gunn was out here like putting randoms on his records, then it would be something different, I think. But I think
that makes it stand out.
I think he's doing just kind of more of the same, but he's being intentional about it, and I think there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's great. I don't want to diminish what he's doing at all.
So check out what Westside Gunn says as it relates to how he promotes his artists.
Okay.
Underground, a lot of eyes and ears are on you. And like I said, I'm right in that middle. So I know if I curate a project, Drake might listen to it. Travis might listen to it. Tyler might listen to it. Hov might listen to it. Nas might listen to it. Marshall might listen to it. So I do these albums so Hov can hear Rome. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Nas can hear Rome. So Marshall can hear Rome. Feel me?
And Drake definitely heard.
Been out. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, nah, since y'all paying attention to me, let me show you something.
And Drake paid attention.
So what caught me off guard with this is usually what I call the South's approach. We always talk about the South, and you see upcoming artists, you see OGs, you see legends, but they're all in the same video. I think we mentioned this last week, they're always pushing somebody up. For him to say that coming from the East Coast, you just said everybody hates each other in New York. You just said that on the last conversation we were talking about. This really stood out to me from a standpoint of him actually trying to put people in positions the way the South does. Am I tripping? Because that's rare to me.
No,
for the East Coast.
No, I mean I joke about that just because it just seems like nobody.
No, I'm serious though. I don't see this coming from the New York.
Just it hasn't happened recently, but
I'm talking about in this era. I don't see it like I see it in the South. This stood out to me when he said that because this is the approach that I've always seen the South take. So for him to just come out and be like, "Yo, I want to put these dudes in positions,"
I take that
so
back.
Drake can hear them and XYZ can hear them.
I was getting ready to. The examples I gave were people who were already hot or had looks on them.
That's what I'm saying.
As opposed to just because you can't say, "Oh well, Nicki did a song with Ice Spice." Well, Ice Spice was already hot, if not hotter than Nicki at the time. And I was going to think, okay, well, what about when Jay put Beanie Siegel in Memphis on? But it's like they already signed to his label,
exactly.
And they already had national looks. So
I think this stands out. And I don't know if it's something. Maybe I'm missing something, and maybe it's
who else besides Rome Streets has he done this for? Armani Caesar.
Oh God.
Stove God, people on his label. Like, who are we talking about?
Well, I mean, trying to think out. You're talking outside of his brand. Spesh will count definitely.
And this is not to diminish what Westside Gunn is doing.
I got you. I'm trying to think who else that he rocks with heavy that he's put in that position.
Who else is in the position that, like, who else can besides Westside Gunn do this?
That's what I was going to say, because when we're talking about somebody from the East Coast, someone that everybody is kind of paying attention to, he's pretty much the only person that can do that. But he's not the only person that's doing it. I mean, even in his own camp,
he's kind of unique.
Benny the Butcher is doing it with the Black Mafia family. I think
Black Sopranos.
Black Sopranos.
Black Sopranos.
And he's got a dope song with Lil Wayne right now. He constantly is talking about the guys he came up with and trying to put them out. ASAP Mob were doing the same thing in New York, essentially.
I think they were. Yeah, they were. I'm talking about. I guess I'm speaking more about right now. But
there's not really anybody out there that's
in that position
or in that position. Like Lon was saying, right now on the East Coast, and then even when we think about recently in other places, down south, you got people that are running record labels like 𝐀𝐿𝐿, like even Rap-A-Lot still, that are still pushing people. I just don't think that it's something that's unheard of for somebody on the East Coast to do it. Honestly, I think in his position, what he's saying is he's able to get the Jay-Z's and the Marshall Mathers and the Drakes and things like that to pay attention to who he's putting out. I think because they like him. You know what I'm saying? They know that he's putting out authentic music that people rock to, and he's popular right now. So they trust his judgment on that.
What if I said, first of all, I agree with you, but what if I said Westside Gunn being in the position that he's in, he doesn't necessarily have to throw the lobs that he's throwing. He
absolutely does, though.
Yeah, he doesn't
because they're associated with him,
because of the type of artist that Westside Gunn is as well.
Okay. All right, I'm throwing it out there.
Now, again,
I'm throwing it out there.
I think it's great that he's doing it, but I don't think it's some new thing. I think he's just to your point. I think he's just highlighting the fact that He's just like putting spotlight on what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, this is, he's like, maybe he's making an intentional effort to make sure that he's going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he came to that realization like, oh, yeah, if I do this, these people are going to get that potential look. I mean, as an artist and myself, I've had these same thoughts many times when I put projects together and we feature certain people. It's just like, okay, cool, they're going to get a bit of a look, for this. And I think that's why artists buy features in the first place.
I mean, that's his bag, though, if you think about it. He started out by him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He knew he wasn't the strongest rapper because Benny and Conway both had situations going on. So he couldn't put them out like he wanted to. So he had to kind of carry the flag until they were ready to do it too. But he always shined the light on those two to, run the banner. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is what he's been on since the beginning.
Yeah. No, props to him. Kudos to him. I think it's cool that he's doing it. He's in a unique position to where he's doing it at a high level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my thing was more pointed towards the regional aspect because I don't hear, and like I said, maybe I'm not paying attention, but I don't hear people up north, if you will, just to openly talk like that. Like they're so open to making sure people get put in positions. But we see it all the time. They don't even have to say it in the South. It's just second nature at this point down there. It always happens down there.
Yeah, I don't really like the regional talk in general like that, but I don't know. Maybe it's a thing.
I mean, I get what y'all saying though, because it's the bag, it's his bag, and he's got people that are associated with him. But it's just refreshing to hear somebody say, "Yo, I'm trying to throw these lobs. I want to make sure that XYZ gets a look because I know I have them. I
kind of think that every artist that is popular gets to that stage where they're trying to hand it off to somebody else. I mean, Eminem did it with D12.
He did.
Nelly did it with the St. Lunatics.
Kind of.
Well, these are their
Jay-Z did it with State Property.
These are their crews, though, too.
Right.
Yeah. But, I mean, when you think about Dr. Dre, that's what his whole career has been built on.
His whole career.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is like, hey, I heard this guy. I think you should hear him, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Master P. I mean, it's anybody that is like in the position to be like the head of the group or the head of the label who got the most shine out of everything. Yeah, they put their people on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Now, if Westside Gunn was out here like putting randoms on his records, then it would be something different, I think. But I think
that makes it stand out.
I think he's doing just kind of more of the same, but he's being intentional about it. And I think there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's great. I don't want to diminish what he's doing at all.
I see where you're coming from. Like if he's just plucking people out the air and just
that's different.
That's different. Showed up here in Indianapolis, and when they all came in, it was like, hey, I heard this dude at Treese, and I'm gonna put him on a record, and I don't have any paperwork on him. That's different.
That's different. That's where I would be impressed. This is just like, good. Like I think what he's doing is what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So
put your people in position to win.
Absolutely.
I ain't mad at it. I got hype when I saw it because don't see it too often, but I totally get what you guys are saying. It's a part of,
I think it happens all the time.
Being an executive.
I think this is constantly happening, personally.
Yeah.
All right, well.
I'm just saying.
Shout out to him. Either way, that's dope that he's, putting people on, but it just, I don't know about the pocketbook, Terry. I don't know about that, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
It matched the bills at, though.